3. Hey Ted, what's up?
Racial tension and EpiPen prices.
What did we say about getting political? Anyway,
Welcome to St. Rose Fireside Chats.
I'm Leanne DiMartino.
I'm Ted Stabile.
And I'm Tony.
Tonight in the chat, we have
Fall shows.
Big Pharma and medical happenings.
And the new iPhone and Android.
All right, so topic 1, fall shows. Leanne, I'm going to start with you. What are you watching this season?
Well, Grey's Anatomy is back, so that's something I've been looking forward to. They left off with a big cliffhanger last season, and now they're up to episode 3, and it just keeps getting more and more intense. Something I'm also looking forward to is New Girl. That's a show about a girl living in an apartment with all guys. Again, there was a very nice, heartwarming episode at the end of last season, and now they're continuing off with the story. And then Supernatural is a show I love, and it is coming back within the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure the exact date, but that is something that gets me in the Halloween spirit, and it's just scary, and it goes along with American Horror Story. Just gets me excited for it.
Do you think Disney is going to compete against American Horror Story by doing their Halloween Town specials? Like just airing all those for 24 hours again?
Well, I feel like it is a different type of competition because they're completely different shows. It is Disney, so it's going to give us that sense of nostalgia. But American Horror Story is just going to give us that thrill, that scare. So we could balance it out where you have both sides.
Perfect. Tony, how about you? What are you watching?
I only watch 2 shows, and that is Fargo and RuPaul's Drag Race.
I know nothing about either of those. Do tell.
Okay, so Fargo was originally a movie that was claimed to be based on a true story, but actually wasn't. The directors just lied.
Scandalous.
And it is so scandalous. And it's basically each season, well, for the movie, it was like a crime kind of gone wrong, and you can't really say anything about the plot because it just spoils everything. So I'm watching season 1 right now, which came out like 2-3 years ago, and oh god, it's like so, like it's Game of Thrones level of death though. Like in one episode, 6 people died, and I was like, oh no, please stop. And then RuPaul's Drag Race is just a, reality show. It's a competition, kind of similar to like America's Next Top Model, but with drag race, drag queens. And it's highly intense and very shady, and I love that shade.
Perfect. For myself, there were 2 shows that just recently ended that I was really getting into. One was a Netflix exclusive, F is for Family. It goes over the life of a family during the 1970s. It's a real romp, for lack of a better term, and I recommend everyone watch it. It's a comedy, it's a slice of life, it's everything you'd expect the 70s would be about if it was an animation. Other than that, to get onto the other side of the globe, recently the show called Mob Psycho 100 came out, which is produced by the same person that made One Punch Man, which is a show about the superhero that beats all his enemies with one punch, but that didn't premiere in the fall. Basically, this show is about this little boy who has psychic powers, and he follows around his master, who he believes has psychic powers, but it turns out to not. He's just a really good persuader. He has a silver tongue, and it just follows their little adventures as they go over the supernatural happenings going on in the little island of Tokyo, that quirky little city. Besides that, there is one reality show that's been going on for basically the last year and a half. It's about these 2 factions that are competing for power. Like there's this one powerful position they're both vying for, and it's just riddled with all these twists and turns. And it's kind of like on the History Channel where they have documentaries, but it's also acting, where like they'll play out scenes, they'll recreate them, but then they'll have people like talking over it. In this case, the commentators would be all of mainstream media. And the twists and turns, like all the betrayals, all the endorsements, it's a real treat. Do you happen to know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I was trying to put it together. What is it?
Leanne, do you want to guess?
I'm going to say maybe the debate going on.
Very close, yes. The election, because it's evolved into a reality TV show, and I'm loving every minute of it. But, like you said, I won't get political. So moving on to our next topic, Big Pharma and medical happenings. Tony, I'll start with you.
Oh, I have so many opinions.
Lay them out.
All right.
Spew them to the world.
Well, first off.
I'm going to Larry King this.
Larry King this?
I'm going to Larry King this. Go ahead.
Okay. The EpiPen thing that happened a little while ago where they jacked the prices of that really, really aggravated me because my whole family is not super, well. And the fact that we have to now struggle to get basic stuff just like EpiPens and just regular I guess it's more the fact that they're raising a lot of medications that should not cost a lot because they're life-saving medications. Like, I work in a daycare too, And there are kids there that have EpiPens. The thought of them going into a shock and not being able to save them because they don't have that stuff on them is so frightening. It aggravates me because people should have basic access to stuff like that. It shouldn't be so hyped up in cost.
To show my ignorance, what would with EpiPens, do you get them over the counter or are they provided by your insurance company? If you happen to know.
I think it goes a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both in the sense of like, where like you can go through your insurance company to get them, but it's typically like you go to a pharmacy like you would pick up regular medications. I'm not 100% on that because my dad is allergic to bees, but we don't have the EpiPens in the house because
bees.
Yeah, bees. So I'm not 100%.
Well, your dad can rest easy because bees are going in danger. Leanne, how about you?
I feel like pharmacies, they have a right where they could control the price, but at the same time, they're supposed to be helping people, and it's not fair that they're taking advantage of the fact that people need this just to make money. A lot of my close friends have allergies, even if it's like peanuts, bees, whatever, they still need an EpiPen. And I worked at a summer camp, and we always had to have EpiPens around with us because there was kids with a lot of allergies. And I worked with very young kids. So say there's a family that can't afford to pay for these EpiPens or the medicine that they need for these kids, like there's nothing we could do, but we need to be helping them. Like pharmacies should be helping people. That is their job. They shouldn't be holding back.
That's a very excellent point. So to move forward, look towards the future for a bit, are you too familiar with CRISPR?
No.
Well, CRISPR, let me just get my notes out here. CRISPR is an acronym for the Clustered Regularly Interspatial Short Palindrome Repeats Evolution. Not evolution, pardon me. But it is going to usher in the next stage of evolution. What CRISPR is basically, think of most diseases that plague the human race. So cancer, HIV, blindness, all that stuff. What CRISPR does is there's an enzyme in your DNA called, I believe I have it right here, called C9. And what that does is it's kind of like a bureaucrat, an organizer in your DNA that can look for any faults in your DNA and kind of replace it with a proper part. So a lot of diseases that are genetic, such as blindness and AIDS and all those, with CRISPR, it's kind of like an organic program where you can inject yourself with a special type of enzyme where it can activate this C9 enzyme and then basically rewrite your DNA. Well, not completely rewrite it, but tackle the faulty parts. So stuff like cancer, CRISPR can just get right in there and burn it with fire. Now, we're not that advanced yet, but stuff like this has been going on for a long time, such as with GMOs, with mutating fruit, even with selective breeding with animals. CRISPR was recently tested and was able to remove horns off a cow with no negative side effects. So, among other things, a lot of things have been plaguing us, like blindness and all those. I keep going back to blindness because seeing that get cured would just tickle my peach. Let's see. The one caveat with CRISPR is that down the road, they're expecting that it'll be able to engineer designer babies. So you'll basically have these super babies that'll have higher immune systems, higher genetics that can increase their physical capabilities, their mental capabilities. So I'm excited to see where that leads us, but I'm also excited to see maybe the moral conflictions that come with that. So just for that brief little bastardization of a description, you guys excited for CRISPR?
I think it's interesting. I'm not 100% sure about
Genetic modification?
Well, not even that, like, super babies, like, I don't know. It's a cool idea, but you go into the thing where people are like, I just want a child with blue eyes and blonde hair, and it's just like, all right, Aryan race, like, can you not? And so I'm, like, it's great if it can cure things, but besides that, I'm like, just let things be.
Yeah. Leanne, wrap us up. What do you think about it?
I think it could be quite interesting. It could lead to some very big medical advances. So I'm down for it.
Lit. All right, so on to our final topic. We're going to be talking about the recent updates to the iOS and the Android. So, Tony, we'll start with you. The Androids, why are they exploding?
They're exploding because faulty batteries. So I am an Android user, full on. I have a Galaxy S7 right now. I don't use the Note 7 because it's just not my kind. But, oh my goodness, they're exploding everywhere. They explode in cars. They explode, hopefully not on airplanes, but they are very explodey. And what happens is the battery heats up and the lithium leaks and it's like faulty wiring, and it's prime for explosion.
Nice. Leanne,
Not nice.
you're also an Android user, right?
I am. I have the Galaxy 6, so it's not as new of a phone, but like there is pressure in the phone as well, and the lithium is very corrosive, so pretty much any single phone could explode as well. But like these phones, the Galaxy Notes, they are more likely to do it because of the faulty wiring. But any phone, even your flip phone, could explode at any moment because it has a lithium battery. So if you overheat that phone or even an iPhone enough, it will explode.
Terrific. So with the iOS, of course, I'm not an iPhone user because Apple will never get a dime out of me. But I found it interesting that during the presentation where they revealed the new iPhone that no longer has an AUX jack, an aux cord jack, when they were asked what inspired them to do this, they used one word, courage. So, Leanne, I'll start with you. Do you think that's courage or just crony capitalism at its finest?
I'm going to say capitalism at its finest. They're taking advantage of the system pretty much because they know people are going to be dropping $150 on wires or any accessory just to add on to that phone. They didn't need to change it because now if you're in the car sharing music with your friends, you can't just plug in your phone for the aux. So if you have an older car radio like I do and you don't have Bluetooth on there, how are you going to listen to music then? Because you don't have a way to connect. So now you have to spend more money on Apple technology.
It's pretty sad that this phone has something above the iPhone. Tony, what do you feel about this?
I think it's a money grab. I don't
It's
think
shiny.
it is shiny. It's shiny and new, but like, I don't know, man. Like they did. I remember seeing a video or like a troll video about like to get a new port, you just have to take a drill and like drill it in your.
I heard about
yeah,
that.
did you? Oh my goodness, people tried that, and then they took it to Apple support, and they were like, well, why though? And they were like, I saw it on the internet. But what that proved actually was someone then looked into the phone at that point, and they noticed there was space for a headphone jack. So the size, like that's what Apple's going with, was we wanted a slimmer phone, so that's why we got rid of it. No, there was definitely room for the headphone jack. They just did it as a money grab to sell those new, like, what are they called, AirPods? So.
Oh, God. AirPods. Well, I believe that about wraps it up for this episode. I'm sure Bill Gates is having one hell of a time. But did you guys know that I talked to Martin Scarelli once?
You did.
So he used to stream on this website called Blab, where we used to teach finance classes after that whole hullabaloo with the big pharma happened. And I was able to catch one of his side streams where it was just like a casual chat, and he had 3 other spaces for other people that are watching to come on. And I just happened to have the golden ticket to be on his little program for 2 minutes. And I knew I had this golden opportunity to ask him any thought-provoking question I could come up with. I asked him, you went to Congress, but you said that you weren't able to bring your 3DS. So my question to you is,